Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
I came to this conference in Denmark and I saw you on the panel, on the first panel.
Yes.
Please, can you tell us a bit about yourself, your name, and just a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Helder Malauene. I am not young anymore because I've passed 35 years as per the African Youth Charter. But I call myself an activist, civil society activist. I'm from Mozambique, but I came to this conference, the one you were also invited, as on the panel. On the conference, invited as somebody who has his expertise on youth's perspective to solve the problems that young people see them happening in their locations, with emphasis to Africa. So the panel was created as a kind of an advisory, youth-led body to the Danish Africa Commission, which, well, it gave its view, its concerns about what should be the main problems to be dealt with in Africa. And the panel is still there because after the process in 2008, 2009, to which the panel was requested to play a role, other stakeholders, they appear and they got sympathy about the way how the panel is dynamic, being a loose network. Yeah.
That sounds very good. I heard you on the first panel,
Yes.
and you seem to have a lot of passion for youth development and see the youth come out of their shells and give out their potentials. What is your drive? Why are you so much passionate about the youth, especially youth in Africa?
Well, my huge passion about the youth and for youth, to the youth also, is because of the fact that being a Mozambican or being an African, I was born in a scenario where I believe you might know it, or you are part of them or you are against them if you are not there. So myself, I believe I managed to choose a perspective in which I never let to be felt by nobody that I'm against him, but not being forced to be with him or with them. So I do my best to try to bring this mindset to other generation team members of young people so that they can take responsibility of what is happening in our continent. It's their responsibility to make sure that what is happening today, it won't affect their sons and grandsons when they are gone. So we need to do all we can do today to create setups and systems that our sons and grandsons will inherit, not what we are today complaining, because ourselves we're all the time complaining.
Exactly.
That generation that gave us independence, that generation that is leading us, is doing A, B, C, and Z wrongly. But what are we doing to change it? So that's why I'm really passionate about that as well. I would even probably say I've been a bit blessed or lucky to have been given trust and support by some former leaders with whom I've been talking on a one-on-one, and increased even more my inspiration of willing to show that young people can do something to change Africa.
Very interesting. Can you tell us a bit about some of the African leaders that you've had the opportunity to meet with, or any platform, international platform that you have been to bring out your voice or to get some kind of advice or experience with some African leaders?
Well, from the leaders, the African leaders, I would state very, very loudly, it has been always a motivational happening, an inspirational happening that I've been to in 2005 when we launched in Mozambique, Maputo, the Vision 2050 for Africa, during which I was sitting in the podium with Mam Grasa Machel, with her current husband, Nelson Mandela, the former president of Mozambique, Patriots, to whom the last time I met was 2 months ago, even 1 month ago in Rwanda, Angola, where we speak, because the motivation, the inspiration I get from these former leaders, it's me being able to make them feel, to tell them what are my concerns, what is my ideal, my dream for those concerns to be solved, and them giving me back up to say, Helder, we really need to take this challenging. We know it will be difficult for your generation to try to change or revert the negative situation. But please, we need people who commit themselves to it, no matter what you might face. So that motivation I've been getting to these former leaders, and without mentioning many names, this is just a summary I would give, because I've been even with former ministers from the government of INC, from the government of Frelimo, with whom I speak the same way I'm speaking to you now. And that one really made me say, yes, we can really do something. We just need to continue committed to it and embrace it. Yeah.
My last question to you, I've seen that from your statements, these great African leaders believe in the passion and the vision that you have for young people in Africa to affect change and certain things that we complain today, so that tomorrow the future generations will have a better place to live. If you have the collective or a number of African youth seated before you right now, what would be the vision that you share with them? What advice will you give to African leaders, young African leaders?
Well, the first thing it would happen is that I wouldn't give them the vision. The first thing would happen, it would be me telling them, we or they, as a cluster of young people, as a group representing the 54 countries, they should or they must have a vision. That's the first thing. And having a vision is to have a dream, which is consensual, which is common to each one of the 54 young people with whom I would be meeting representing the African continent. And as soon as they agree on this consensus and common vision, which is a dream for Africa that they would like to see, let's say, in 10, 20 or 50 years, then they would have to start working for the achievement of that vision, of that dream. And working on that dream, for the achievement of that dream, it would also mean, that's what I would have to tell them, it would also mean they have to know what are the problems, where are those problems being lived, what is there to solve those problems, what is it necessary to solve them, and what role they will be playing in each one of those problems for them to solve it, and who else they will be bringing to play that role. And this is what I would call it a common agreement, that only being together, I would end like that to say, only together we can solve the problems of Africa. And this, it comes from another inspirational sentence that I took note of it in November last year in Senegal, where I went to attend the Mo Ibrahim Democracy Weekend, where he said this: my younger generation, my younger leaders, our younger generation of future leaders, you have to think seriously about uniting yourself. Africa would have been united, it won't solve the problem. Can you please make sure that you keep knocking the doors, bust the ears of the leaders of Africa, for them to take forward seriously the regional blocks. And from the regional blocks, they go to the next step, the African Union. But not being that African Union the way how we see today. Why? And this is so simple like that. That's what I would be telling this generation of younger leaders. Europe, to be where it is today, it has to become a union. America is how it is because it's a United States of America. So you African, you're 54, you think you live alone like that? Each one of you living his own mess, you know, and with all potentials we have in Africa. So please think seriously about being together to settle the African problem. Because the problem is they're not only Ghanaian, Mozambican, Zimbabwean, whatever, they are African. We need to be together. This would be the very sincere and heartful message I would pass to this younger generation of leaders, that Africa really needs them. Because the next struggle is for us to say we are free economically, socially, financially, and so on and so forth. This is the next challenge I would give to the younger generation of leaders from Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard from Helder from Mozambique, very passionate youth activist, and I have been very inspired hearing from him at this conference. And I would say the last volume of peace that he has given to us is something that we, young African leaders, or emerging leaders of Africa, have to take it very serious. Thank you, Helder, for having time.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much. And I will always be there to give my brains